one more video for you guys today, but the insane story of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo. This is boy Nonstop Sports. Original link in the description down below. Let's get into it.
Giannis Antetokounmpo has emerged as one of the faces of the National Basketball
nice
Association.
guy,
but, unlike many of the league's other stars, no one expected the Greek freak to become such a dominating force.
What'd you think?
He undoubtedly has
That was the whole point around him, to become a dominant force.
one of the most unique stories in the NBA.
Didn't they build the whole Bucks around him?
Childhood. While he was born in Athens, Greece, Giannis's parents had immigrated from Lagos, Nigeria, just 3 years before. The path for his family was far from easy. His parents were forced to leave their firstborn son in Nigeria when they'd first immigrated, and discrimination among other barriers
Yeah, bro. Racism was crazy.
made it difficult for them
Racism everywhere.
to find consistent employment.
What am I talking about?
Greece's stringent citizenship policies didn't even allow Giannis Greek citizenship when he was born.
Yeah.
In fact, the children of
Yeah, bro. This nigga was born in Greece, and he's not even a Greek citizen.
immigrants must live in Greece for 18 years before they're
The parents of Greek immigrants must. The
allowed to become
The kids of Greek immigrants?
citizens. In effect,
That's fucked.
since Giannis was not born in Nigeria, but not a citizen in Greece, he had no official state for the first 18 years of his life. To help his family make ends meet, Giannis and his brother Thanasis would often sell counterfeit merchandise in the streets of their neighborhood. None of them knew how soon their lives would be changed forever. Like many kids his age, Giannis spent plenty of time playing sports with his brothers.
There you go, bro.
One day,
Fire up.
a 13-year-old Giannis and his brothers were chasing each other around on the playground in the Sapolian neighborhood where he lived, when a man named Spiros Velniadis walked by. Velniadis was the coach for a professional organization's junior team. He would walk through predominantly African neighborhoods looking for lanky athletic kids with the potential to grow into basketball stars. Giannis was exactly the kind of kid he was looking for. I could see that Giannis had real skills in changing direction, Velniadis
Because he was a tall black kid.
recalled. He had huge hands and a frame that looked poised to grow. It was like something stopped me from the sky. The moment I saw him, lightning struck me. Spiros asked Giannis to get his parents, and he told them he would find them jobs paying 800 euros per month if they allowed him to coach Giannis in basketball. The rest, as they say, was history. Early basketball career. The United States is relatively unique when it comes to professional sports. No other country relies on high school or college athletics to develop professional talent. Instead, professional teams sign and develop kids in their own professional academies. When Giannis began playing for Velniadis with Phil Athleticos, he barely could dribble or make a layup. But that didn't deter him. He was extremely competitive and had the work ethic to make incredible progress. Giannis would stay at the gym practicing until near midnight, sometimes sleeping there on an exercise mat in the weight room for fear of heading home in the darkness. A couple of years later, Giannis would stay at the gym practicing until near midnight, sometimes sleeping there on an exercise mat in the weight room for fear of heading home in the darkness. A couple of years later, he had reached their senior squad in the third highest division of Greek basketball. If you watch Giannis now, it would probably seem impossible to believe he wasn't able to dominate at the lowest levels of Greek basketball. But that's exactly the case. Even against weak competition, Giannis was never more than a role player. In the 2012-13 season, his final one in Greece, Giannis averaged 9.5 points, 5 rebounds, and 1.4 assists per game. Of course, he was also just barely 18 years old. The coaches around the league saw his potential. Even though he wasn't selected as an all-star, he was allowed to participate in the game because they understood the appeal to fans. While NBA fans had no idea what was coming, these pros knew they were watching a future star. Scouts in the United States were still skeptical. Since Giannis wasn't even in the highest divisions of European basketball, few scouts were able to watch him on a consistent basis. His length and athleticism was obviously tantalizing, but his skills were still lacking. Some questioned whether he'd ever be able to develop into a reliable contributor. In the end, no NBA team used a lottery pick on Antetokounmpo, and he fell to the Milwaukee Bucks with the 15th overall selection in the 2013 draft. Early NBA career. Giannis debuted 2 months before he would turn 19 years old. As one of the youngest NBA players ever, Antetokounmpo quickly flashed the brilliance that would come. While he wasn't the scorer he is today, he was named to the NBA All-Rookie Second Team, a tremendous feat for someone of his age. Yet his rookie year was even more impressive than met the eye. Giannis had to leave his family and home for the first time when he moved to Milwaukee. Giannis had to adjust to a new culture without his family under the bright lights of the NBA. Sometimes, Giannis would sleep in the Bucks gym because he didn't feel like he had a reason to go home. Outside the team, he was alone. Giannis wanted his family to be with him in the United States, but they struggled to obtain American visas. His family was declined 2 times.
What? Bro, this world is so racist, bro.
Luckily, they were granted visas following their 3rd application. Before he knew
How do you get denied visa 2 times?
they would get good news.
I bet the last time he finally told him, I'm an NBA player, like, let my parents live here.
Giannis had decided he would return home if his family's visa wasn't granted, giving up his shot at an NBA career. How close the NBA came to missing a future star. When his family arrived, things became a lot easier for Giannis. Over the past few years,
He wasn't gonna play unless his family was here. And what did the Bucks do? Like, okay.
he's become more comfortable in American culture and chronicled his own experiences discovering different parts of the country. For a prospect who was supposed to need a lot of time and grooming to reach his full potential, Giannis sure was a good NBA player quickly. By his second NBA season, he was already starting for the Bucks on their way to the postseason. He averaged a respectable 12.7 points and 6.7 rebounds per game, and was named the Eastern Conference Player of the Week in the first full week of February. Scouts were right to notice how far away Giannis was from reaching his full potential, but they underestimated just how high his ceiling was. Before he was 20 years old, Giannis was starting on a playoff team and holding his own in the best basketball league in the world. The Golden State Warriors would win 73 games in the 2015-16 season. Everyone was focused on the reigning MVP Stephen Curry's dominance, but quietly in Milwaukee, the Greek Freak was continuing his upward trajectory. Taking a larger role as a primary ball handler, Giannis began to find his place as a 7-foot-tall point guard. His productivity across the board increased with as a 7-foot-tall point guard. His productivity across the board increased with career-high 16.9 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 4.3 assists per game. Of course, that season, the Cavs would upset the Warriors in the NBA Finals, and Kevin Durant would join the Warriors. But Giannis's coming out party was on the horizon.
Get to the point
Stardom.
where he gets fucking D's.
Giannis has made 4 consecutive All-Star teams, won the NBA Most Valuable Player award for the 2018-19 season, and somehow continues improving. He's averaged at least 26.9 points and 10 rebounds per game in each of the last 3 seasons, and he seems poised for more MVP awards to come. Few players are ever capable of becoming the best basketball player in the world. Of those who do, they're almost always high school and college prodigies selected in the first few picks of the draft. Nothing about Antetokounmpo fits that script. The child of Nigerian immigrants, who knows where Giannis would be if not for a chance encounter with a junior league coach.
That's so true.
Giannis's incredible athleticism
Where would he
and
be?
length, combined with his unrelenting work
I'm
ethic,
sure he would have found his way to the NBA eventually. Like, no one's just gonna let a 7-foot-tall person just walk around without any type of notice.
built the foundation for greatness. Still, few others have to leave home at such a young age, learn a new culture, and come out at the top of the NBA.
That was a good-ass video. Original link in the description down below. If you liked it, like it, subscribe, comment what you want to see next, and deuces.